You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. A woman pleaded guilty today in a deadly high-speed crash that killed two of her friends. Sherry Einhorn has more from court.
My son is dead. Nobody knows that pain. He was that kid for me. And I have to live and breathe through that every day.
Heartache and devastation all around after a plea deal that will have a lifelong impact on three separate families. 20-year-old Nyla Frazier pled guilty to manslaughter and assault in connection with a deadly crash in West Hempstead in 2021 that killed her two friends. Curtis Caesar and Amanda Arguinzoni were passengers in the car driven by Frazier. Prosecutors say she was driving over 100 miles an hour when she ran a red light and crashed her car. According to the plea deal, her attorney says she'll serve a minimum of 3 years, which isn't nearly enough, according to the victims' families.
You gave her 3 years. The girl took my daughter. I'm never ever going to see her again. My life has changed.
Inside the courtroom, Frazier's defense attorney started telling the victims' families that his client regretted her actions that day, but he was interrupted by an emotional outburst from one mother who sobbed, "Don't say that, don't do that."
I wanted the families to understand that she was taking responsibility here today and expressing that remorse despite my instructions to her previously not to do so.
After the judge accepted the plea agreement, family members started taunting each other with comments, and court officers had to step between them to prevent it from escalating. Frazier is due back here in court for sentencing in May. Neither she nor her family spoke with reporters after her court appearance.
She has no remorse. She don't care about nothing. She don't care about nobody.
In Mineola, I'm Shari Einhorn for Newsday TV.
A Long Beach surfer is in critical condition after an accident at one of the toughest surfing spots in the world. 25-year-old Austin Gibbons was found unconscious on his surfboard in Hawaii. His mother tells Newsday he was involved in the local surfing scene before moving there. She says, quote, "I really believe he's strong enough in mind and body to fight." And Long Islanders came together today to donate blood to an EMT with an inspiring medical journey. Newsday TV's Steve Langford has his story.
In the middle of the day, Thursday, at the Islip Terrace Fire Department, a special appeal for blood donors has been heard loud and clear.
Seeing all of these people that showed up today that love us and support, even people who don't know us that have come to support us, that's support.
The blood drive for Stephanie McNamara's sister Heather, a beloved figure in this area for her resilience and courage.
We've been part of the Blood Center for a very long time. Heather's been a spokesperson for them since she was 7.
Heather's recovery from a rare and risky life-saving surgery as a child before growing up to become an EMT at Exchange Ambulance of the Islips has inspired so many around here.
I have no problem taking a half an hour or an hour of my time to help save a life.
The day after Christmas, Heather's health took a sudden alarming turn for the worse when a blood infection caused organ failure. She has had 12 blood transfusions since then and suffered a heart attack. She is now off life support.
Today is very special to try and get as much blood as we can that can help her and help others as well.
As a child, Heather McNamara survived the removal of a cancerous tumor that required taking out her pancreas, stomach, and spleen. Her survival is the stuff of legends, and now prayers.
She is doing better health-wise. Mentally it's very hard. She's going to have to learn how to do everything all over again, but she's doing a little bit better.
In March, Heather McNamara is scheduled to receive an award for her role as an EMT and helping to save someone's life this past October. Steve Langford for Newsday TV.
A former fire department treasurer has been arrested for allegedly stealing more than $30,000 from the department. The Nassau DA says Richard Bopp wrote checks to himself from the Malvern Fire Department's bank account. He also allegedly used the department's debit card to withdraw nearly $20,000. The 45-year-old is due back in court later this month. An exclusive Newsday and Siena College poll reveals that it's a tight race to replace expelled Long Island Congressman George Santos. It's a story you'll see only in Newsday. Political veteran Tom Suozzi and political newcomer Mazi Pilip are locked in a heated battle for the 3rd Congressional District seat. So how do Long Islanders view the candidates in Tuesday's special election?
Mazi. I'm done with Democrats. because the Democrat, I was a Democrat my whole life. But lately, they've gone too far to the left.
I voted for Tom Suozzi. He's ran already. He served us for, I believe, two or three terms.
According to an exclusive Newsday Siena College poll of likely voters in the district, if the election was held today, 48% would vote for Suozzi, the Democrat, and 44% would vote for Pillip, who's running on the Republican line. All right, so Joy, how should we be looking at these numbers?
Look at the margin of error. What it tells us is that this is a very, very, very close race.
On the issue of the migrant crisis, 49% felt Pillip would do a better job handling the issue versus Suozzi's 40%. Another big concern for people in the 3rd District is the Israel-Hamas war. 44% felt Pillip would be better regarding American policy of the war. 41% thought Suozzi will handle the situation better. All right, Joy, so what do these numbers tell us about these issues?
What the numbers say is that on those two issues, likely voters divided on party lines think that Ms. Pillip has the advantage here.
But those aren't the only issues.
But those are not the only issues. You got to also remember that abortion is another one of those issues. And what the numbers tell us is that Tom Suozzi has the advantage there. But, again, along party lines, you also have to take a look at these independent and other party voters. And these numbers, they're all over the place on issues. On some of them, they like the Republican candidate, and on other ones, they like the Democratic candidate.
Now, to read more about the race, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Taylor Swift put a Massapequa designer on the map by wearing one of her creations to a football game. The designer's husband plays for the 49ers and says he's proud.
I'm so happy that she's getting the recognition that she is, because she's so talented, and it just was a matter of time until people saw that. I really do think that she can make a serious change in women's fashion in the sports world.
Kristen Juszczyk struck a licensing deal with the NFL, and now she's getting requests for her clothing from all sorts of people, like movie stars to even Vice President Kamala Harris. All right, let's take a look at your Long Island weather. We have more good news for you right here. It's going to be 50 tomorrow. Check it out. Tonight we're going into mid-30s, but let's take a closer look at tomorrow, shall we? And you can see, look at those temps. Is it spring? Is it summer? Who knows? We have sun overhead, some clouds, and stick with us to the end of the show to get that 7-day forecast too.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Home Tax Saver, PTRC Incorporated.
A Wyandanch barber is bringing his community together. Our celebration of Black History Month continues in a story you'll see only in Newsday.
The vision really for me was trying to find something that was different in our community. When I usually go into New York City, going to the shops there, I'm always looking at the different architectural designs, some of the textures inside of those shops, and I wanted to bring something like that back to Long Island. It creates an atmosphere that's, therapeutic, that's relaxing, that's positive, that's uplifting for the kids when they come here, and also for the parents.
What I really like is that I can schedule things online. It's really good vibes here. I get good haircuts.
A barber or a beauty salon is more of a service-based industry where you can stop, pause, have a conversation, get to know your clients get to know you, and now you're creating a rapport, not just a transaction. So when you look at the wine dance community, again, it's a very tight-knit community, okay, which is great. And you have, like I said, probably 4 generations that have been here that have seen the changes that are taking place in wine dance, and it uplifts their spirit. It makes them feel like things are changing, which is a great thing. It's all about that community, giving back and letting them see there's possibilities in your area.
Now to read more about Sir Shave, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Competitive youth sports are leading to injuries here on Long Island. So how can our kids avoid getting burned out and getting hurt? Sherry Einhorn has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
I loved it right away.
TJ Doyle started playing t-ball at 4, football at 5, and also lacrosse. Like lots of other young athletes across Long Island, he was playing and practicing a lot.
My body obviously wasn't bad when I was younger, but as you get older, then You just start getting little injuries here and there that don't allow you to perform at your potential.
He gave up lacrosse, and now at age 17, he says he's healthy and hyper-focused on football and baseball. And do you want to play in college?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Doctors say athletes still playing by the slogan, no pain, no gain, could end up striking out with their sport sooner than they want to.
I think there's an epidemic of overuse injuries, especially on Long Island.
Dr. James Barcy is a pediatric orthopedic surgeon at Stony Brook Children's Hospital. He works with young athletes like TJ. The most common injuries he sees: shoulders, elbows, wrists, backs, knees, heels, and ankles.
It's really emphasizing that you want to try to think of the big picture. So, in the grand scheme of things, missing a few weeks out of a season really isn't that big of a deal if you think about long-term health and future athletic prospects.
Tell that to an athlete worried about losing their spot, a coach who wants to win, and parents focused on potential college scholarships.
It's a very tough balancing act.
Tom Doyle knows that all too well because he wears all three hats. He's a sports dad, a coach, and he's in the medical field.
I mean, one of the things that we've done is that December and for the most of January is, his resting period, is TJ's resting period, where, we recoup, we let his body recoup, his muscles.
The family is also incorporating other strategies they learned from Dr. Barcy.
Yeah, he recommended just stretch multiple times a day, ice it. Pretty much that's the best therapy for it, and over time it got better for me.
So how do you know how much is too much when it comes to training, practicing, and playing a sport?
And I think it's loosely defined as enough rest to allow your body not to be in pain. Pain is your body's way of telling you to take it easy.
Dr. Barcy says you just have to listen. I'm Shari Einhorn for Newsday TV.
Now, to read more of stories like this, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. All right, here's what's up on Long Island.
Another one bites the dust, and another one, and another one bites the dust.
See Almost Queen. The tribute band salutes Queen during a live concert at the Paramount in Huntington on Saturday. Celebrate Black History Month and see the exhibit 55 Years of Black Creativity. It's Sunday through March 23rd at Westbury Arts in Westbury. It's time for the Long Beach Polar Bear Plunge. The annual Super Bowl splash is for a good cause, of course. It's at Riverside Boulevard and Broadway on Sunday. Now, for admission info and more events, make sure to click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Buffa. Thank you so much for joining us. We leave you now with a look at your 7-day forecast.